Out of the paint. Oh, great block.
Angel Reese, her first block of her WNBA career.
Benaj even saw her. Benaj, I think she's got to live. Not this time.
Not that time, but Jones with the offensive rebound and another reach-in foul. On the Chicago Sky, we got a technical foul, too, called, and a double tech. She said a couple of things that Charles Watson didn't appreciate and has just ejected her from the game.
For both of you guys, just what was your perspective and kind of just from where you were on the court? What did you see on that double tech on Angel?
She got ejected. She got 2 techs. She said something to the ref. And so whatever he felt like was the correct call is what he made. It's more about composure for us in our young years in the WNBA. So, gotta get to know refs and how they respond to things.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I am back again with another video. So, of course, we're here to discuss everything that took place when Angel Reese was ejected from the game last night. So, I saw here online, after Chicago Sky's Angel Reese experienced a significant milestone in her WNBA career on Tuesday night, it wasn't a positive one. During the team's 88-75 loss to the New York Liberty, Reese was ejected from the game, marking the first time she has been expelled from a game since turning professional. The incident occurred late in the fourth quarter when Reese, the 7th overall pick in this year's WNBA draft, was called for her 5th foul while battling for a rebound with Jonquel Jones. Frustrated with the call, Reese expressed her discontent to the referee, which resulted in an initial technical foul. As she walked away, she waved in a dismissive manner, leading to a second technical foul and her early exit from the game. Crew Chief Maj Forsberg explained that the first technical foul was given for Reese's disrespectful behavior towards the official, while the second was for the dismissive wave. These actions ultimately led to her ejection from the game. In the WNBA, players receive fines of $300 for each of the first technical fouls they accumulate in a season. These were the first 2 technical fouls for Reese. However, amidst the disappointment, Chicago Bulls guard Lonzo Ball took to social media to show support for Reese. So the first thing that I wanted to say was, not only as we saw in the highlights that I did place in the beginning of the video, that it was her first ejection of her career, but it was also her first block that was recorded in her career as well. We already talked about it before, saying that we all believe that, nobody's on a train saying that she's not a good basketball player. She obviously is a good player. I felt like she was playing well in the game as well. However, this is something that we talked about when we talked about the situation with Caitlin Clark, when we talked about just the overall decorum that is necessary when you are, you're not playing street ball, college ball. Maybe the people know you, and because you have a big name and you're representing the sport, maybe you're able to get away with certain things. But in my personal opinion, I feel like this just exposes a lot of the hypocrisy of the same people that were on the Caitlin Clark hate train. Okay, that's the only thing I know how to call it. When the situation happened with Caitlin Clark and she was clearly fouled on, right? And it was not a basketball play. It had nothing to do with, somebody defending themselves or defending the goal or anything like that. It was just a complete emotional play that was made. Interestingly enough, when Kennedy Carter was the one who did that play, she was kind of not as vocal, didn't really want to speak up as much. She just said what she said, and that was it. And now when it's this situation, I think she was just so happy that it's not her that's being talked about at the moment, that she was ready to speak up and say anything or say her piece to defend her teammate. But I think that it, again, shows a lot of the hypocrisy, because now you have people who are talking about, they must have a target on her. Oh, they don't want to see her do great things. Oh, they don't want to see her successful. Oh, they don't want to see her, be the best version of herself. Oh, they just want to find a way to throw her out and to eject her from the game, as if this is not something that is literal basketball policy. It's the same exact thing in the NBA as is in the WNBA, right? It's something that we all know, that if you are disrespectful to a referee, it is grounds for you to be ejected from the game, and also possibly face paying a fine. As I quoted in the statement that was on social media, it also said that Lonzo Ball from the Chicago Bulls did post something and saying that he was going to quote unquote defend her or support her. So this is what the tweet is that he exactly said. So he said, ref that threw out Reese is weak, by the way. You know who you are. Keep your money, Angel. I got you. And in response to him saying that he was basically going to pay the fine for her, Angel Reese responded with a heart and a crying emoji, and then said, I appreciate you, gang. Can we just focus in on this? Can we just talk about this for a second? Like, can we please just talk about this for a second? Because these are the things that I'm talking about. You know, whenever we think about endorsements, whenever we think about, companies that want to invest in you, and they want you to represent their brand, and they want it to be marketable for, especially for younger kids of all ages, younger girls of all ages. They want to make sure that you're not somebody who's maybe going to come on the internet and just talk reckless, or just say anything, or just, have any kind of innuendos that could be easily misconstrued. And I think it's extremely important that we talk about this, because a lot of people are thinking that it is just running off of a quote unquote race issue. And in some ways, that's a conversation that we can definitely get into. However, I strongly believe in the point of, are you fitting into a narrative? Are you fitting into, what, quote unquote people perceive of you? Or are you showing something contrary and you're getting ill or unjust treatment? Even in the word, just saying, appreciate you, gang. We all understand when it comes to ebonics, when it comes to, urban colloquialisms, that obviously when somebody is saying like appreciate you, gang in the context, they're basically saying like homie, friend, bro, or whatever the case is. But that exact verbiage can be misconstrued by a lot of other people who do not understand the context, who do not understand, in the way in which we speak or the way in which we communicate. And again, when you are in such a large space and you are representing a whole culture behind you, of course, you are going to be held to a certain standard with all eyes on you, that people are going to want to see that behavior, be the contrary. They're going to want to see you representing, again, to the best of your ability. This same thing could have said the same. It could have been said the same exact way. It could have been a heart emoji, crying emoji, and said, appreciate you. And that's it. Right. Even if you don't want to change, it could have just said, appreciate you. That's it. But a lot of this like slang and this and that. And I have to say it again, because people are going to say, oh, you're just trying to say that she's saying something and you're misinterpreting. I'm not. Sometimes I feel like we can get in our own way. Right. And for example, I feel like that was something that occurred was the reason why she got ejected from the game, and the reason why her actual highlights in the game and how good she played in the game got overlooked, because a little bit of, again, getting in her own way. Right? Like, we all understand, again, decorum, how to act, how to behave. But when you are in a certain position, and even if you have your own feelings, your own ideas of whatever situation that happens, to say certain things or have a certain demeanor to the referee, I have to say it again, we all know is cause for them to possibly eject you from the game. And if not eject you from the game, it is also cause for them to also give you a fine. It says right here, NBA contracts in the collective bargaining agreement forbid engaging in conduct detrimental to the league. A player or coach or GM publicly criticizing officiating is grounds for punishment. I also found another example of a technical foul, and it says, this is an example of a technical foul for an inappropriate reaction to a call, including the approach to the official. players can react to calls with which they disagree, provided the reaction is not overly demonstrative, disrespectful, or prolonged. And so this is not something that is to be confused about. This is not something that is like coming out of left field. Again, like I said, I have to highlight the hypocrisy where people are saying, oh, you know, it just seems like they have a target on her and this is not fair. And you see, they always trying to keep a black woman down. Like, this is the whole narrative. And it's, I just find it so mind boggling that when the whole situation happened with Caitlin Clark, it was the complete contrary. Right? Like, it was all about the fact of, oh, you know, she don't got no target on her back. She needs to suck it up. It's not a big deal. Ain't nobody against her. She needs to get tough skin. She needs to do all this. She needs to do all that. But then as soon as the situation happens and it's on the opposing player, you know, Angel Reese, and there's anything that looks like it could be intricate or problematic or whatever, people are so quick to then jump on that train and say, oh, you know, they just hating on her. They just want to bring her down. They just mad because she's as good as Caitlin. Like, nobody said that. Like, we could literally go back to the video, which I'm going to go ahead and slide this on over, and we can go right back to the video in which we see that, you know, there was all of them kind of engaging together at one point. We see here, you know, there's obviously some kind of contact between Angel Reese and this player. We can literally see it, right? It's a little blurred because we're a little far away, but we can see that, you know, she has the ball in her hand. This person's approaching. This person's probably touching on this side as well. But we can literally see some kind of contact. I don't know if it's an elbow. I don't know if it's her arm. I'm not exactly sure what we see. But then when she comes down, she immediately does that thing, right? Because they heard the whistle blow where everybody is putting their hands up. Like, it wasn't me. I wasn't touching anybody. I wasn't the one that you know, committed any foul. And we see that situation happen, and she backs up and looks at the ref. The ref clearly says something to her as he's walking to her. And we can see right here that her hand goes up and she waves him off. Okay? She does like a little fan movement, like waves him off, and is obviously mumbling something under her breath. Obviously, it's something that was disrespectful enough that the ref was like, okay, y'all playing too much or whatever the case is. Maybe you getting a little ahead of yourself, but I'm not going to allow the disrespect. It could have been something as simple as, oh, he don't even know what he's doing, or he don't even know what he's saying. Again, going back to that thing that I just read you guys, criticizing exactly what it is that he's doing, basically saying that he's not good enough to do his job or whatever the case is. And I mean, let's be honest. We know that there are times that sometimes refs will get involved or get overly involved or whatever the case is. But you see, you can only have that argument if you're not displaying any kind of behavior, if you did not say anything, or if there was no, like, we can literally visually see on the camera that you're not visibly annoyed. You didn't fan your hand off. You didn't walk off, you know, with an attitude. Because all of these other players here, right? Number one, this player right here with the protective eyewear, you know, we can literally see they are just sitting here waiting for the ref to, you know, say whatever it is that he has to say, and they're not engaging. Even this person, right? They're not engaging with any kind of, you know, weird faces or attitude or anything. They're just waiting to hear what the play is so that they can continue the game and move on. She is visibly upset, right? She's visibly annoyed. She's walking away. She's kind of storming off a little bit. And that's when he called, you know, the other technical, which, again, people don't have to agree with it. It's a part of the game. Do I think that people need to now start talking about how she's being targeted and how, oh, she got to watch everything that she do because she's under a microscope? I think that it's very ironic, again, that people are saying those things when we, you know, have all covered and talked about when Caitlin Clark was being targeted by her own players, and people were saying that it's just dramatic and it's not true. I wanted to highlight something else that I saw in the same game, right? So interestingly enough, the same person who did the press conference, I believe that her name is Marina. It's this woman right here. She's the one who spoke up about the press conference and spoke about everything that she saw that happened during the game. during the same exact game, she actually got involved in a little bit of a foul tussle with her opponent, right? We're going to see it on the instant replay. And what I thought was very interesting was that the first person to run over there and to kind of, try to talk sense into her was the same exact person who got ejected from the game, Angel Reese. The reason why I thought that this was something that was important to talk about is because, one, I think that it talks about sportsmanship and protecting your, your teammates whenever there's any kind of situation. But also, it also means that there is something there that talks about you knowing right from wrong, right? You knowing what levels to play, you knowing the possibilities of the things that could happen, you knowing that, if your teammate goes back and forth with that person, that she could be ejected from the game, which means that your logic was ticking. Right? There was nothing wrong. And I think that sometimes, even though people are talking about like, oh, I don't expect to be treated different just because I'm such and such, or I don't expect to be treated differently because I'm a rookie or this and that. Sometimes I think that a little bit, you can get a little bit ahead of yourself where you think that you might be able to be above reproach from even people like the referees because you're a household name. Maybe you don't feel that way against the players, but maybe you do feel that way against, like I said, the referees. And again, I think that there is, it's important to remember that there are rules to the game. It's not a free-for-all. It's not just everybody does what they want to. There are indeed rules to the game. So I want to know what you guys think about this, right? I want to know what you guys think about this entire situation. I want to know if you feel like it is quote unquote her being targeted, or if you indeed feel like it is just rules are rules. We just got to, keep it professional, keep it respectful, keep everybody protected. And also, in my personal opinion, I think that maintaining boundaries is extremely important. And one thing that, her teammate right here said in the press conference after the game was that, especially when you are new to the league, they want to make sure that everything is the same across the board, that they are setting the tone, that everybody is going to remain respectful so that you're not, growing these players who are disrespectful to the refs and disrespectful to the staff, and you're just allowing it to get out of control. They want to keep it clean cut across the board. And I agree with it. I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Like I said, I want to hear it down below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.